Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Simply Sketchy. Today I have once again corralled my good friend Fat Dave from Total Blackout Painting, and once again we're talking about Elden Ring. And Dave, floor's yours. Want to introduce exactly what we're talking about?
Ah, so we're continuing on the Volcano Manor theme, and I think we're going to look at the Serpent Men today.
Yeah.
Draw a couple of Serpent Men. I say we. You're going to draw some Serpent Men. I'm going to sit here and talk like a moron and sound like an idiot.
Well, already got a competition when I am here. I'm already the head honcho when it comes to idiocy.
Hey.
Let's see.
Oh man. So yeah, I listened to the Vati Vidya has a new video, relatively new, less than a year old, about Volcano Manor. It's a long one too. It was like an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, he really cooked when it came to the larger lore videos.
Oh man, and that guy's got to be killing it too, because he has like that super relaxing voice, because the sleep channels are huge now.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's YouTube's new favorite thing is the fucking sleep channels. Yeah. And so he's got one of those great voices that's really relaxing and like interesting enough for you to listen to for a while. So I bet he's making a killing on the like sleep market, because there's tons, and I've seen so many people just getting on a tangent as usual already, but I've seen a bunch of even the Warhammer lore channels. I think it was Luton or one of the guys that released a video, and that releases videos, and it's like, let's fall asleep to this. It's like, okay, we're just obviously going for that, like, I'm trying to put you to sleep demographic.
It's not just them, but there's a lot of lore dump. Some people find it boring. Some people actually find it easier to fall asleep to.
Yeah.
I just love listening to it whenever I work, essentially.
Yeah, it's good background music. Well, that's why people fall asleep to it so easily too, is because it's good background music. Or good, not music, but noise. It's like white noise. Because it's interesting enough to where if you want to tune into it, you can tune into it and like really follow along. But then after a while, it's like, oh, this is so relaxing and interesting that it makes your brain tired.
Yeah.
So then you fall asleep.
It's nice. It has a role. Hopefully, who knows? Maybe I can get in on that market too.
Yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Just spit your dulcet tones out in there. Yeah.
Yes, my slight annoying lisp that everybody loves. Jesus.
But yeah, that aside, I bet Smoketown's doing well in that market too. But I know Vata Vidya is like one of the biggest Elden Ring channels.
He is essentially the biggest FromSoft channels out there. He just cornered the market for that. He became the go-to FromSoft channel. Even FromSoft themselves are working with the guy.
Yeah.
That's insane. That is reaching the peak of everything.
He's a great avatar for them, right? Like if they want, he's a good face.
Yeah,
he'd be a good face for them.
Also, the thing is, he's a good guy. He's a good ambassador for them. And the best part is he's just passionate. Essentially Vadi's story is just, again, there's not really much about Volcano Manor right now, but Vadi's saga is just one of having a hobby and a passion that suddenly becomes your job in the best possible way.
Yeah, I always dig that.
Yeah, I can't even I haven't yet to find a single dude who like, some people who don't like Vadi because they're not into his content, I get that, but I haven't found a single person who objectively hates Vadi, because he's just, apparently from what I hear from his own community, he's just a chill dude, you know?
Yeah. I bet.
It's something which we lack, and he doesn't stick his finger into stuff that doesn't mean anything, you know?
Yeah. No, I've never looked into his community at all.
It's just relatively really chill from what I hear, except for a few try hard things whenever there's a competition going. But again,
of
it's
course, that's
FromSoft, so
yeah. I was just say that's par for the course.
oh yeah,
So
brutality of competitions in the FromSoft or
yeah,
in FromSoft. I mean, I played Armored Core,
yeah.
and I played the basic Armored Core. I've played Armored Core 6. I haven't tried any of the hardcore ones.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, they're
like
scary.
the old ones.
They're
So
scary.
yeah, that's a good niche to get into because well, it's like we talked about it previously. Like the lore is so good, it's so comprehensive, and like at any point if they actually release the lore, which I don't know if that would be, again, I'd say I don't know if that'd be a good idea, but
like
it's just
the theorized book of Miyazaki rambling, so that one poor intern has to is just hired to follow Miyazaki wherever he goes.
Yeah, no shit.
Ever since you pointed that out, I just can't shake the idea. It is too likely. It is too likely to be not real.
I know. Got a stenographer following him around.
Yeah. You, intern, your job is to follow Miyazaki and just write down everything he says. Everything?
He's just walking around and he's randomly says something or like, write that down.
Miyazaki is not even at work. He doesn't even know. He's not even there. He just goes around rambling. He's like, oh, points on the swimsuit. Oh, voice. Perfect.
Yeah, so
yeah, kind of what are we covering now as we have entered our first tangent?
Right, so the Serpent Men from Volcano Manor. And this is, so I listened to Vadi's new video about it, and I listened to Smowtown's old video about it from a couple years ago. And they both talk about how the Serpent Men came about after the world-devouring serpent at the bottom of Mount Gilmere devoured a demigod. Now,
devoured a demigod, or rather, I guess as we found out last time, it is not much he devoured, but he allowed himself to be devoured and then merged with him. It's kind of the
he took him over, is what it is. He allowed himself to be eaten. But so what I'm getting at is that Vadi subtly implied that it wasn't necessarily Rykard, that it could have been a different demigod. Where of course Smowtown just points out, the demigod was Rykard. But the further lore, digging down into it, shows like how the world devouring serpent, how long it's been, because like you said, it's eternal, it's immortal, and it's been around devouring forever at the bottom of Mount Gelmir.
Yeah. Or and as so newer things in the DLC shows, it has had a few travels, let's just say that.
Yeah.
If you want to know what I say to the people who play Elden Ring, drop by the outskirts outside of Bonnie Village, the Jar Village, and you'll see a familiar shape.
Yeah. But it of course, it pre-existed Rykard and was a force of nature all its own before. And it was worshipped. There was a cult surrounding it.
Yeah.
A cult of sacrifice surrounding it. So that was part of the blasphemy of it. And then, of course, snakes they all represent blasphemy and go contrary to the Golden Order.
I mean, the Golden Order just even dragons were contrary to the Golden Order until Godwyn the Golden, the only true good guy of the setting, decided to become best friends with one of the most brutal goddamn dragons in the setting.
Yeah.
Hey, Fortisax, you fight good. Let's be homies. Sure thing, bro. Oh man.
But so the Serpent Men are kind of they're an abomination.
In a way, yeah, because they are quite literally the children of Rykard.
Yeah, well, and if you look at Raya's, which we haven't done Raya's stuff, but she ties into She's a serpent.
Yeah.
Her
spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah. So her talisman that you get for doing her quest, that Datakar's Woe.
Yeah.
Which is assumed to be her mom.
Yep.
Obviously.
It's not just her mom, but the mother of all serpent people.
Yeah. But it says that she's more than that, because in the thing it talks about how she was she was with serpents and other things, and she birthed a lot of like blasphemous beings.
Yeah, she is I'm pretty sure she's Californian.
Yeah, so she's a regular blonde-haired woman with a Labrador.
Oh, it's so funny.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of the Serpent people was born after Rykard merged with the world eating serpent.
Yeah.
Meaning
so
that
they're the product of the world eating serpent and devouring a demigod.
Yeah, and
which was Rykard.
And then mating with this woman.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use those words because it sounds far more clinical and better than...
Yeah. He may not have even had to do it himself, because it talked about how Rykard was experimenting. Like, these guys are kind of the product of experimentation.
Oh, I think it's pretty clear that he was doing... I mean, let's put it like this.
Well, he could have taken any serpent and done it, really. Which in a way would it be worse?
The girl is his direct descendant, though. She is his daughter.
Zoraya is, you think?
Yes, Tanith actually states it that she is by blood the offspring of Rykard.
Yeah, she does. She does. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Imagine getting.
I'm just saying,
imagine getting freaky with Lord of Blasphemy. Just get to that part of the boss fight, and then imagine that thing. It's
yeah.
Oh boy, that's a bit too far into Rule 34 for me.
And so that one in the back, yeah, the big bulb heads, the ones that have they look like they never got their birthing sack off their head.
Nope.
They have that amnion stuck to their head.
Yeah, but they're also the ones capable of casting magic.
Yeah. Which kind of would mean, like, maybe in their nascent form they're more powerful.
Yeah,
or maybe they're more intelligent and they get more feral as they go along. Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think so, because she is still sentient. They don't show any signs of losing their mind. It's just, I mean, even these, they handle like fire magic in the swords.
Yeah.
I think that using these egg sacs as sort of these turban crowns, it's more like a status symbol.
That makes sense.
Yeah, they're
mages, like, hey, honored one, put this blob on your fucking head.
Yeah.
So you'd have to see the horrors of the world we live in. So you'd have to see those awful God-skin guys.
I just want to cast magic. I don't want to see any of this shit.
Right.
But yeah, they are kind of brutal, though, because in the same room where you encounter Blobhead, as I lovingly refer to him, there's a lot of the former humans that lived in Volcano Manor, apparently either being standing on trial or something.
Probably sacrificed.
Most likely.
Sacrificed to the old god.
Yep, to Rykard, and I'm just gonna...
Well, even the snake, because they were...
I'm gonna refer to Snake... No, the thing is that I'm gonna refer to Snake and Rykard as the same, because they have become one.
They are, but prior to Rykard even... Like, the reason why Rykard was there was for the serpent and the ritual, right? So...
I still think he planned it all along, dude.
And again, we talked about we talked a little bit about the recusants and the bloody fingers and stuff like that.
Yep.
And that they gathered all the people, that were their invaders. They were wanting to kill other Tarnished, right? They were kind of trying to disrupt the order.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of obvious that these snakes, while not genuinely evil, at least their leader is considerably in the
Well,
side of evil.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you could attribute malice to them per se.
Okay, where were we?
So, shit, where were we?
We're talking about the serpents and essentially the evil of
Rykard. Yeah. So the the recusants, yeah. So they brought recusants. They attracted recusants there to, help kill the other tarnished and help establish Volcano Manor as the default hegemonic force, right?
Yep.
To subvert the Golden Order and become the gods, basically.
The superior force in the lands between.
Yeah. So, I think, Rykard was the one who summoned the recusants there, right?
Yep.
And he used Tanith to help him do that.
Yeah, and then he would eat them. It's all part of this larger scheme. Again, the evil I'm attributing here is purely to Rykard. Rykard is the evil in this setting.
Yeah.
The serpents are essentially his children and his new race, his new species that he's created. So they're quote-unquote innocent, but they are a anti-societal force in that they wish to supplant society with their own existence.
Right. Yeah, another one of those, like, kind of amoral, amoral deities, right? It's just like the lust for power, or the will to power kind of thing, right?
That is essentially Rykard's character. It is the kind of Megatronian one of just power for the sake of power and dominance.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, ambition has its price.
It has.
And I think that's the underlying theme, is ambition.
Yeah, and Rykard was more than willing to pay that price. And the thing is, though, while he is evil to us, for the Serpent people, he was their father, he was their creator, and he kind of, for what I can see, he actually, in a way, genuinely loved them.
Well, I mean, all those people that drank fucking Kool-Aid in Jonestown thought Jim Jones loved them too.
Yeah. No shit. But if Jim Jones actually could create his own species and father his own race of creatures, I think he wouldn't exactly be forcing them to drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Alright, this is taking shape.
Yeah. Yeah, it's looking good.
My eternal enemy perspective once again makes a
So we talked about the abductor versions, and was that the previous one, or is it the one before that?
The previous one you and me talked about was the abductor virgins, and essentially the oh come on, what's the word I'm looking for? The not embodiment or manifestation. It is what's it called when you're making a wow, I can't believe
what's the Norwegian word for it?
Monument. Yeah, the monument to Rykard's evil, essentially. The abductor version.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. But they were also remnants of they were also remnants, like, they kind of came before Rykard. The abductor virgins, like, they were part of the old cult of the torture, because the torture and sacrifice was there before Rykard was there.
Oh yeah,
because the Serpent was there before Rykard was there.
I think
so. The cult drew him there. Yeah,
but it's not the only cult that does the sacrifice thing, though.
Oh no, yeah, but the cult did, and this is according to the lore that I was listening to. The cult kind of drew him there. And that the cult, because certain items refer to, like, ancient rituals and stuff like that, which would mean that they kind of predate the modern Empyreans.
Yeah.
And so
would actually
because there's a lot of
sense.
pre-existing lore.
Yeah, and you also have
So,
the come on, what's their name? The Godskins. They were pretty much their heyday is long gone, but they're still around, and they have definitely a cult of sacrifice and torture. So
yeah,
they're vibing with this.
well, yeah, because they want to wear the skin, which is why you find the Godskin duo at Volcano Manor.
Yeah, well, not the duo. You at least find the noble in the
Or the
Volcano
noble.
Manor.
Yeah.
And then you find
that's right. The duo's at Fair Missoula.
Yeah, and you find his other half is stationed in, I do believe, the village that is going around skinning people.
Yeah.
Where all the chicks.
Yeah, he's at the top there. Yeah, the what the hell do they call it? Can't remember the name of it.
I'm just calling it.
But yeah, no,
Crazy Lady
the
Village.
woman, the Crazy Lady, dude. I farmed that friggin' place for so long because I wanted the. I got the rib rake, but then there's a skull hammer that you get from there, and I killed so many of those damn bitches trying to get that stupid skull hammer. And never got it. I was so mad. I even bumped up my arcane, so then I ended up having like a super high arcane, just trying to get that stupid thing to drop, and I never got it. It was infuriating.
Then I probably won't mention how I got it on my first run through.
Your first try, yeah.
Yep.
There's some items like that. It was like, oh, this is super. Like the shoes. The shoes off the noble, or the sword, all the noble.
The noble. I got that pretty early and dismissed it.
Yeah.
Like, ah, shit.
Yeah, super realized, easy. I got to. And everybody's like, oh, it's like super rare. It has like this 0.1% drop rate. It's like, really? Killed like 5 of them and got it in my first walkthrough.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of thing right there.
Yeah, I got like 2 of them. I only really tried to farming that for the second one. The first one I just got as a random drop.
Yeah. Well, because you end up killing so many of them damn nobles.
Anyway,
you know,
I run through them.
You know,
God damn it.
So it's interesting, like aside from inside the volcano, but the battle that happened outside of Volcano Manor between the forces of Volcano Manor and the Leondell Knights.
Yeah.
Right. Because Rykard wanted to take over. Right. He was mustering an army to take over Leondell.
Yeah,
because he wanted
essentially his part. He didn't really participate much in the shattering itself, but it's clear that there has been, at least Leondell has tried to encroach on his territory to stop his blasphemy, but Rykard wasn't much of an invading force.
No, and Rykard, there's items that refer to Rykard wanting to, or a weapon to, what is it? It's a black claw or something like that. It's a talisman.
Yeah, the one against Malekith.
Yeah. And it talks about, how they were going to use that too.
Yeah.
So it was like Ronnie gave Rykard a piece of of Destined Death.
Yep.
So that he could use it against Malekith, because once he took for them. Yep, in case. And so once he had, because if he would have had Destined Death, then that's super easy to, it's going to be kind of easy to just to devour the world after that, right?
It's essentially just 2 villains working together, Ronnie and Rykard.
Yeah, pretty much.
And for anyone saying that Ronnie's ending is a good ending, you're stupid. Ronnie is not a hero. She's not a good person. She's a selfish, egomaniacal bitch.
You say what you really mean, not that she's... that they're simp. Not that they're stupid, that they're a simp for Ronnie.
Oh, simp, stupid. Both starts with an S and means the same.
Too damn many Ronnie simps. But,
Anyway, my issues aside with that bitch.
But, so Rykard was definitely in on the Night of Black Knives. He knew.
He did, and he's part of the reason why Godwyn the Golden became the Prince of Death.
Yep.
Because what the hell is family when you have power to have? And Ronnie essentially, again, they're both monsters with coinciding ideals. It's just that Ronnie decided to side with Rykard because she knew that he would be a later issue compared to everyone else.
Well, that and he was her brother.
Doesn't mean anything.
Renala was their mom.
Yeah.
So
true.
That's all I think, is that because Renala was their mother.
I don't think family matters to Ronnie at all, nor does it really matter much for Rykard. To them, they were
but that was the connection they had.
I don't think
that was why she maybe knew more. Or I don't know.
I don't think that matters for either of them because, again, Ronnie wants the power of a god to separate herself from the Golden Order, while Rykard just wants to eat everything. It's just two monsters, but differently colored with different sources of power.
The lust for power in two different ways, basically.
Yep. I mean, the only good kids were Godwyn the Golden, Morgott, and Radahn. Radahn was the only good kid to come out of Renala and Radagon.
And there's pictures of there's pictures of Radahn in Volcano.
Yeah.
Which kind of denotes that Rykard still did have an affection for his, or at least an admiration.
Yeah.
But then that makes sense though, because he was he's the only one to fight Millennia to a standstill.
Again, he was the most powerful being at that point, he was the most powerful being in the world. So even if Rykard didn't hold any familial love, which I don't know if he did or didn't, but at least he would respect the power that Radahn held. I mean, the dude was holding back the stars themselves. He was holding back fate.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's super interesting. Just holding back the sky, holding back the heavens itself with his own power.
While you are terminal, he didn't just hold back the stars. I mean, we're gonna cover this when we get to Radahn's episode.
Fighting off the Scarlet Rot at the same time.
It's not just that. Imagine having terminal stage 4
mega
terminal cancers, yes, on steroids, while also being poked up on God knows what kinds of poison, while also struggling with leprosy.
Yeah.
It's super cancer AIDS with leprosy. And he, through all of that, still managed to ride his favorite little horse. Still, just keep that thing safe while he himself was rabid and devouring friend and foe alike. He still managed to ride his little horse and hold back the very stars themselves, which essentially is all of a galaxy spinning. And he did that while terminally ill, while also kicking your ass year after year after year.
No shit. Firing giant fucking gravity arrows at you.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think you can call them arrows. They're, what, ballista bolts?
Oh, no, yeah, they're bolts.
Yeah.
No, they're the giant, because it's a large weapon. It's a giant bow.
What do you even call those things?
Fucking ballista bolts, almost.
Yeah, the dude did all of that while his brain was completely scrambled on the worst disease known to man. And people still say that Melania won that fight. Right, she's the one who went back sulking at a fucking tree.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that man should just do her on the first try. Radahn was the one I was having more of an issue with. Anyway,
anyhow, back to Volcano Manor.
Sorry. You and me, dude, we always tangent.
I know. It happens, dude. But yeah, then all the volcano, I mean, aside from, like, the lava looks so good in that, and it looks really cool, the lava weapons that these guys have. Like those lava whips.
Yep.
I killed 1 million of these fuckers before I realized that whip didn't drop off of them.
Really?
Yeah, I killed a whole ton of them. And then I was like, oh, I have to do Patch's quest, and then I went to the foyer and Patch's was gone because I'd already gone past that point. And I was like, oh, well, that's how I get the bull goat armor. Ah, well, shit. Well, I guess I'm gonna have to do that on New Game Plus. And then the first thing I did in New Game Plus was accidentally kill Patches. So
butchered the boy.
I was like, you son of a bitch. Now I can't get all the gear and everything. Because I like doing that. I'm 100% there. Like, I like getting all the stuff I can.
Yeah.
Just because I'm a weird autist and I don't mind grinding sometimes.
Hey, grinding is
That's probably
fun
why I
if you
play
find
so
a
much Civ.
Probably.
That's why I've been playing so much Civ lately. It's just a grind. It's just next. But yeah, so many of these damn dudes. Because that weapon is so cool looking.
It is.
Like, that lava whip is so cool. And I do use the lava daggers. Like, I have those all buffed up, and I use those on occasion just because they're freaking cool looking. And so, but then that goes, like, I mean, that's all Rykard's magic.
It is.
Like, Rykard is the one who created all that stuff.
At least he created the method, but the snakes are clearly able to not just create these things, but also wield them. Because Volcano Manor is now devoid of human life. What remains are these serpents. They clearly have an intellect.
Yeah. Which, you know what's interesting is that the serpents don't poison you.
No, they don't.
Which should be kind of thematic, but no, the serpents involved, those serpent men don't poison you.
No, they like to just bite you and then...
Which they just beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
That's all. They just burn you to death with lava, which is bad enough.
Yeah, and then they elongate on you.
Yeah, that stretch is weird.
Yeah, the first time I saw that, I was like, no, I am going somewhere else.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit. It's like, that dude's over there. He looks scary, and then he swings his fucking head at me. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Oh, he's a long boy. My plans have been significantly changed.
Yep. But so these guys are kind of like, and then you go through the bottom where they're hanging out with all the Albinoric guys, because
you make it sound
they
so
just
innocent.
always tortured the shit out of the Albinorics. Yeah, it's because the Albinorics are just there to be tortured.
Yeah, I mean,
and like, that's why you find all those ones where they're like,
that's the way of saying it. That's what they did with the Albinorics. They were just hanging out.
They were all hanging in cages and stuff.
Oh boy, that's I kind of feel sorry for them until they tried to beat my head in.
Yeah. Well, there's the story of the Albinorics is really tragic too, because they're artificially created life. It was just made to suffer, basically.
Yeah.
It was just artificially created by the weirdest sadists ever, and then they just get nothing but torture for their entire existence.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that they're there to do that. But the candlestick you drew earlier, that reminds me, and I guess this is the tangent I started going on with the Abductor Virgin, because at the bottom when you get drawn in from that, when you go to the Abductor Virgins through the portal from the Virgin and Raya Lucaria, you have to fight those two Abductor Virgins. That's where you get the Inquisitor's Grandiole.
Yes.
It's a cool looking weapon. It's super cool. But the lore on it's crazy, because it says that the reason why it's flaming like that, so they could poke nobles, it would pierce their skin, and then the fire would cauterize the wounds, so that they could just keep doing it without them bleeding out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does not cause bleed. It's kind of worse, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least bleed eventually kills you.
And so that was like the purpose of it, was to freaking torture people.
Yep. And essentially Rykard did a great replacement in his castle, as he replaced his people, his knights, his nobles after
the nobles. Yep.
Yeah, and
well, and that's why everybody up top is a tarnished, right? It's to kind of give it that good look.
Yeah.
But then all the tarnished that make it below get devoured by the serpent, become part of his power.
Yep.
That's the other thing, is they try to make it seem like they're gathering people to take over, but really he's just gathering them to strengthen himself so he can consume
it's
them.
actually true though. It's still technically not a lie. It's just that they're skimping on the details because they are joining him in his rebellion and they are increasing the power of Volcano Manor, just not in the way that you'd expect. And I do like that kind of technicality evil, you know.
Yeah.
Oh no, we are doing what we're saying. It's just that you didn't really know the way we decided to do it. Again, Rockard is one of my favorite villains in this saga because he's just so unapologetically evil about everything, and he is
Right.
clever. He's building his power. He's keeping to himself while just steadily following this path that either guarantees him to gain power or in the end create someone with power that he can just take over later, because we all know that we can defeat Rykard, but we can never truly destroy him. We can defeat him but never destroy him. Even if you kill Tanith before she manages to eat him, he will still appear. Yeah. He will still come back. It is a guarantee. What Tanith is doing is just speeding the process up.
Yeah, she's hoping that he'll take root inside of her.
Yeah.
So, but that's because he devoured the serpent, or the serpent devoured him and he merged with it.
Yeah.
And the serpent is eternal, so now Rykard is eternal with the serpent.
Yeah, it's
because all the serpent did was absorb power.
Yes.
Right? Like that's just what it was. And that's why all the people were sacrificed. They were sacrificed to the serpent so that the serpent could absorb its power.
It does say a lot about Rykard's, the force of his personality, that he was able to keep his faculties after being devoured. So because there's so many people who got eaten, but Rykard is the only one who actually managed to stay together in there.
Well, and it wasn't that he was even fed to it. He offered himself to the serpent and then just basically took it over.
Yeah.
Because he was more powerful.
Though, again, when one slumbers, the other is awake. So when the serpent is knocked out, Rykard awakens.
Yeah. Well, and I think that was partly because, and it kind of seems like that too, like Rykard doesn't need to be involved. If the snake can handle it, then he doesn't need to be involved, I think was basically the point of that battle. Which, thank goodness they give you that weapon, the sword, for that. But we'll talk about Rykard later. Anyhow,
kind of hard not to talk about him when we're doing
I know.
Children.
Yeah, we'll talk about the Rykard fight later.
Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. We still have a few things we want to cover first because I need to psych myself up because Rykard is gonna be a doozy to draw.
Yeah. There's a lot to it.
Oh yeah.
It's just such a cool. That's one of my favorite things about Elden Ring, even the Souls type games, is that there's some of the enemies are huge, right? Like the fucking dragon's huge, the giants are huge. Rykard is huge.
The death birds are massive.
Yeah. But having the giant bosses and the giant arenas like that really does give it a more epic feel.
It does. Right? Like in Dark Souls 3 with the Yorm the Giant.
Mm-hmm. I didn't play that.
And that's a one-on-one duel unless you bring with this story character.
Except for the fucking fight for the Elden Beast. Fuck that fight. I think I think they patched it so you can have your horse in there now. If you can have Spirit in that arena, or Torrent, that fight was a fucking cardio test. That's what that fight was, dude.
Oh god.
This is like, I hit him. Oh shit, I gotta run all the way over there and hit him twice. And then
he's spamming stars and lasers, and then oh no, golden waves.
Yeah.
I am using his boss weapon. I'm using his boss weapon without shame because I earned that damn thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
it is the best farming weapon.
I mean, aside from the fact that it's the best farming weapon, yeah. Whenever I run, it's such a stupid broken weapon. Whenever I run into something that's like too far, it's like far away because the ash goes so fucking far.
Yeah.
You can kill things way far away, and then you can kill things that are like, because so many things will menacingly walk towards you.
Yep.
Like not run necessarily, but they're like, oh, I'm gonna fucking kill you, and you can kill those with the great sword. There,
Yeah.
just blast them.
And the thing is, though, do you know what kind of force is weak to the holy light? Blood.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah.
Oh, that makes sense, though. That really does. And because it's the blood and all that stuff is kind of blasphemous.
It is.
Right? Like, I mean, because it's all opposed to the Golden Order.
Yep.
It's competing with the Golden Order. And even you say opposed is kind of like they're all competing. It's not like they're like, oh, fuck the Golden Order particularly. It's like they all want to get in on the action.
It's kind of Elden Ring's Elden Ring's war is... Oh god, the app. Sorry. App sometimes locks up a bit. Elden Ring's power struggle isn't just between ideologies and, lords, but it's essentially a power struggle between gods in the mortal realm. Because Moog and his formless mother has to fight essentially in this giant scale war against the rot gods, the formless mother, the frenzied flame, and of course Rani and her moon god.
Which is weird to me because like Lands Between are cool, but there's so much struggle going on for this shit.
Yep.
And I guess I just don't know how much. It's like fighting really hard for a vacation home in Haiti. I don't know.
It's not. It is actually the reason for it. I think is because the Lands Between is the first land. It is the land from which all came in origin. It is whatever happens in the Lands Between happens for the rest of the world. It is the core of the world itself.
Well, I don't know about that because there's a lot of people. Because Godfrey's not from the Lands Between.
Yeah, but he matters in the Lands Between. He came there, and that's where the Erd Tree is.
Yeah, but Tanith is not from the Lands Between.
Nope, but she truly matters in the Lands Between.
Right, yeah. But what I'm getting at is that they pre-existed the Lands Between. So the Lands Between couldn't be the kind of thing that you're implying.
Yeah, well, it's what I'm trying to say is that the Lands Between is where power is congealing. It matters because that is where the major power is, and also the giant lands, the mountaintop of giants. It is an ancient place. Mm-hmm. Modern Lands Between, or modern as in the time of Elden Ring itself, it's been through so many forms and iteration, and the Lands Between also include Farum Azula, which is essentially just timeless. It is where everything happens. It is where the gods themselves are mostly stationed. So the reason why everything happens there is because it is the source of the world. It is where the Erd Tree is. And in all its iteration, it's always been there. And it is where the Greater Will essentially landed its Elden Beast and, created life. It's the spot where God himself just decided to come down and start making the world.
Well, I'm just being a little facetious.
I get it.
Because
that is why it has become Haiti, but it is because of all the forces.
Yeah. Like, why the fuck am I fighting for this? But I'm just joking.
Yeah, I get it. But
I understand the will of power.
God himself said, "Oh, this is a spot."
Right. Because I'm just saying, the place looks kind of beat up right now. It's seen better days.
Oh, without a goddamn doubt, dude.
Especially after you set the Erd Tree on fire.
It was a necessary thing. Destroy to later recreate.
Yeah. Well, but it's destroy to kind of free the people from the Lands Between too, right? Like that's kind of a part of the story. Well, that's especially
it's a gold ending, at least the best ending.
Well, the destined death one too, right? Where you bring death, where you use the mending rune of death, and you bring death back to the lands between, so people can actually die.
You don't bring the death back. You actually make the living dead as part of the order. You make them You don't make them anathema. You make them a part of life.
Oh. I never did that ending, so
yeah. Essentially, in Elden Ring, you cannot restore things to how it used to be. You have to change it. You have to change it to something new.
And that seems kind of like the struggle with, like Marika was trying to keep things the same, and then Ronnie was like, no, fuck that.
Yeah.
And tried to subvert the order.
Yeah, the irony there is that she tried to subvert the order by doing exactly the same that her mom did.
Yep.
Or her father
being the same kind of shitty.
Her paternal mother. Ronnie's a goddamn retard. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She tries to be like, oh, I'm so different. I'm so much better, and turns out she's doing the exact same thing as her mom did.
Well, you know what's funny about Ronnie is because Renala is actually a separate person. So that the children like Radon, or not Radon, the children of Marika and Radagon are inbred.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's why they have this. That's why they are. Words. That's why they are cursed. You know, because they are inbreds of gods, essentially.
Oh. Yeah, and they have great runes, which it's another thing about the Serpent is that not only did Rykard, allow himself to be devoured, but he allowed his great rune to be devoured as well.
Yep.
So that was another thing.
Oh man, Rykard was a piece of work, but again, he kind of is a very, essentially he's a very classic type of villain in Japanese stories.
Yeah.
Like Ganondorf is the same. He is the great demon ruler, essentially.
Yeah.
He's a demon king. He's a very satanic character, let's put it like that. But he has power, and his underlings respond well to power.
Right. Well, I mean, all the underlings are drawn to power of one sort or another in the lands between.
It is.
It seems like you just have to have the power, and then the underlings will come with it.
Yep. I mean, it is such in real life too.
Yeah, pretty much.
With power, not just responsibility, but legions will flock to you.
Right.
And Rykard had people who willingly joined, which are the recusants. Bernal, essentially, he I think he knew the truth. He just didn't care.
So he had that devouring scepter.
Yeah.
Right.
Which I think is actually a gift from Rykard
himself. It is. And the symbolism of it is a snake. It has a snake eating the world.
Yep.
Right, and that's a big that's what all the banners and stuff have on it because, they were gonna devour the gods.
Yep, and
that was Rykard's thing.
And yeah, Bernal is. I think Bernal he was one of the few tarnished who really came close to lordhood. It's just that he abandoned it. Kind of like Vike, he abandoned his when he became corrupted by the Frenzied Flame. But
see, I thought Vike more failed than abandoned.
He was kind of screwed over. I don't know what, but something assassinated his maiden.
Yeah.
Because the maiden up in that church by the Frenzied Flame village, that's his maiden.
Oh. That's right. I think I knew that.
But yeah, Bernal, I think he just abandoned it. I don't remember the details.
He was one of my favorite NPCs. Honestly, I like Bernal because you could buy stuff from him, and he was
buy stuff from him. He's cool, and also, well, he was true to himself until the end too. He even was honest about, yeah, we're probably gonna meet up and fight, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'm like, yeah, bring it, bitch. I enjoyed the fight, and I still kind of like wearing his armor because his adornment, it really seems like a really lord like.
It's cool looking.
Royal attire fit for a lord.
Yeah.
But he was.
And that staff is popular it's popular on speedrunners and shit.
The world
because it has
staff?
Yeah, because that weapon art is really powerful at lower levels.
Yeah. Also heals you, which is always boom.
Yeah.
Though the best weapon in Volcano Manor is Rykard's, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Well, and that's another thing is that it goes along with the theme of Volcano Manor is that a lot of the weapons in there heal you.
Yeah.
Right.
Like
so that
Serpent
and then
scimitar, right?
Yes, yeah. I was going to say that one heals you. It's not an awesome weapon. It's a pretty mid weapon. And I've never really used it.
If you want to go for strength faith, it is one of the better scimitars you can have.
Yeah, I always used great swords.
Yeah.
Because I was using the blasphemous blade all the time. Because it's just so awesome.
I am the follower of the blasphemous cheese.
Yeah. Because the weapon art is great on it. It heals you. You don't have to have it in your main hand to heal you.
Yeah. You can challenge yourself, but if you have it on your back, it'll still give you HP. And if you hit with it, it does actually give you HP as well. So it's per hit that it heals you. It is just good.
Ooh. Yeah, and it looks cool.
Oh yeah.
Like it goes along with all the squirmy little arms and shit on it.
Do you know what those are?
What, they're the arms and the souls of all the people he's eaten. The serpents devoured. Yeah.
It is.
Which is kind of funny with the serpent men too, because they have like the snake, like they call them serpent men. They look more like snakes, definitely.
Well, snake
because
is another
their
word for serpent.
Arms and legs are like disturbingly disproportionately small to their body.
Yep.
Right? They just look kind of weirdly proportioned, which kind of makes them look a little more menacing, honestly. Because they look like snakes instead of being, men that were born as snakes. Look like snakes that have just had arms and legs kind of grafted onto them.
It kind of reminds me about the serpent. I always start thinking about the serpent people from the Conan series.
Yeah.
It's also that they can take human form.
Yeah. Those things are a pain in the ass to fight in Conan Exiles.
Well, aren't they like the true sons of Seth or something?
Yeah, the true sons of Set. They live in the volcano.
Yeah, I think we found the core inspirations of the serpent people.
Right.
Rykard. Oh my god. Yeah.
For sure, because that's totally old Conan. But the thing is like a lot of the old Conan lore draws from Lovecraftian mythos.
Yep.
Right, Lovecraftian ideology, and Elden Ring definitely has some Lovecraftian stuff. Yeah. Well, of course, because Elden Ring has so many, like Berserk, has a lot of kind of that cosmic horror type influence onto it.
Oh yeah,
and so
beautiful, especially when you get into the Outer Gods, because Outer Gods is also in the Lovecraftian lore. But here, an outer god seems to be more like a measure of power, or rather an importance to the lands between. Because Marika is a god, but an outer god is essentially connected to a facet of the world itself, like the god of rot, the mother of the formless mother, or the blood god.
Yeah, they're more like avatars, rather than manifestations or individuals.
Exactly, and the frenzied flame is equally that. It is a manifestation of like despair and destruction. It is the dumbest creature in the universe, of course, but still.
which you encounter a lot of madness outside of Volcano Manor, you know, because there's that one big giant outside of Volcano Manor, and then there's knights.
Yeah, the
That
Landale Knights
up on
up.
Mount. Yeah, well, they're not Landale. They're Gelmir Knights, Mount Gelmir Knights that are.
No, they're actually
Landale
Knights. They are.
Oh, were they Landale Knights?
Yeah, it's
I thought
again
they were Mount Gelmir Knights.
The Gelmir Knights were all devoured by.
Oh yeah,
Rykard.
because they were all like they're so isolated up there on the mountaintops that they've succumbed to madness.
Yeah, they were the horrors that they witnessed in their attempt to put Rykard to justice. They fell to despair.
Yeah, because the people of Volcano Manor were doing such horrible things.
Yeah, he had human followers, and then his blasphemy, which in the beginning they considered the blasphemy to be a good thing because it was an insulting thing. Like, you know how many atheists were like, it's like, haha, we're blaspheming to stick up to you, and then they realized, shoot.
I think that it was more actually just the will to power. That's wholly what the blasphemy was, because they were blaspheming to subvert the Golden Order.
Yeah.
Right, because they wanted to take it over. They wanted their order instead of the Golden Order.
Yeah, but in the end, though, even the humans that originally sided with Rykard, it went from being an ironic blasphemy to be actual blasphemy, because even then we're like, oh, this is too much.
Well, it's because it was and that's the top and the bottom of the manor, right? The top of the manor is all like an actual manor. And then once you get down underneath, you find out it's this hideous dungeon full of torture and misery and serpent men and lava and fire and abductor virgins. So
quite literally a piece of hell.
It's like I think it's more like kind of the Epstein cultist kind of stuff, where it was just rich people who have like, they're wealthy and powerful, and so they need something to help them, to entertain them. Because
I don't think it was. Honestly, I think the blasphemy started on nobler terms, nobler ideals. It's just that when Rykard realized the power he could gain, he lost his wits to it and just went for power. Then he literally found out that he could become one with a god.
Right.
Or like a.
Well, and then he became obsessed with right, and that's when he became obsessed with devouring everything.
Yep, and became just an aspect of gluttony and greed.
Well, and and that's interesting too, because everybody says, well, he took over the serpent, but the serpent was the gluttonous. The serpent was the devouring serpent. The serpent was devouring before Rykard there. So Rykard lost a lot of himself to the serpent as well.
I think it was a mutual bond, essentially. Again, Rykard gave himself to the serpent, and the serpent accepted him. And then they became this greater being that is just a larger threat to the world than anything in its own right.
Yeah. Well, and that's part of it's part of the blasphemy.
Yep, and the serpent men are the manifestation of that, because
they're the bastard love children.
Yep. Between a Californian lady and a giant snake demigod hell bent on devouring the world.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's form of unity in it. So if you're a frenzied flame kind of guy, having Rykard's worldview is just as well, because in the end, the serpent is going to be all that remains.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Unicron in that measure. Imagine if Megatron unites with Unicron. That's basically how I view it.
It's just bad guys all the way down.
It is.
But then again, that's kind of the story of Elden Ring. It's just bad guys all the way down.
Technically, it's terrible parenting, and then just bad guys all around.
Because bad parenting with cosmic powers.
Yeah, I'm pretty certain, and I will fucking die on this hill. The whole thing, all problems in Elden Ring, could have been avoided if Marika just put aside her ego and just gave her kids a fucking hug.
Just hugged her kids, yeah.
Yes. Even again, I think I said it before too. One of the dudes who is just commenting on Mesmer, you know, those ghost people that just gives an echo of the past. He literally says, "America, please just give your kid a hug. Just hug
Yeah,
your kid."
yeah, no shit.
But no, America can't, 'cause
Oh,
she's just a bitch. I don't care what people are like. Oh no, America was fooled or whatever. You can have a tragic story as you want. America is still one of the main problems there. She
yeah.
makes Zeus look like a non-issue. And I mean, 90% of Greek
Uh,
mythology is Zeus just sticking his dick into everything. At least,
well,
at
yeah,
least he
in one
tried to take
shape or
care.
another.
Yeah, at least fucking Zeus tried to take care of his children afterwards to a certain extent.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, I did kind of father you, like all these other guys, but you know, just join me on Olympus or some shit.
yeah.
Oh God, just America is just terrible. She's just terrible.
Ooh,
Which just actually makes her a really
yeah.
good kind of counter to Ronnie. Again, I'm really looking forward to when we can do Ronnie's episode.
Oh yeah.
'Cause I have such negative opinions of her, but she is honestly though, it's good. I
uh,
like it when a fictional villain is able to make me react like this, because that means
yeah.
she's a really good villain.
Well, yeah, exactly. It just goes to show how well done the story is,
Yeah,
right?
and it's
And
really
again,
a really impressive villain when you have this many simps for her. But like, of course, if I was gonna side with if there's a bad guy force here to side with, I think mine would actually be Rykard in a way. Because, again, he is my favorite villain, but I kind of respect what he's trying to work from outside of the usual order of things, right? Instead of trying to uh, get into the Erd Tree and take over through his mom, or take over through his parental mom, he
hmm,
instead just says, "Screw it, I go my own path."
right? Well, it's because
Serpent all the way.
the snake pre-exists the Erd tree.
Yeah,
Like the serpent predates the Erd tree, so he has access to something that is outside of the Erd tree's influence
yeah, which is why
and understands that.
serpents tend to be a very hated thing in Erd Tree
Yeah,
focus culture.
yeah. That's why they're blasphemous, is because the serpents are not as they're not
Attuned?
as subject to the will of the Erd tree.
Yeah, they're kind of
So
on the side. They're kind of on. They fall under the same category as the giants and their fell god. Let's be honest.
yeah,
They're not the same, but they're in a similar category as the fell god's flame. Essentially, just want to burn everything, and the serpent, well, he just want to nom everything.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it predates the Erd tree, which is interesting. Shows that the power struggle in the lands between is not is constant and is not new.
Yeah, I mean, before the humans took over America, it was the dragons who had the Elden Ring,
Yeah,
and even like before, I don't know if it's before them or after them. There are many other factions and forces that are continuously just vying for supremacy and dominance.
right.
It's just one big duel, and it's honestly why I kind of like the Gold Mask ending, because that ending separates the outer gods from the from the realm.
Right.
Of course, there's always going to be a power struggle, and I'm pretty sure that our character is not going to be the Elden Lord forever, because things change.
No.
And
Well,
it,
and that's why I'm kind of sad that there's only going to be one DLC for it, because I would really like to see them explore, like, not just the lands between, but the outside places. The places where, like, because Godwyn and Godfrey were not from the lands between.
yeah, well, Godwyn
Or
he was a son of Godfrey, but
or God. Yeah, I meant Godfrey was not from the...
I think you mean Horalu and the Tarnished, right?
Yeah, Horalu.
Or wait, were they from the Tarnished? But no, they were exiled from the Lands Between.
They were from outside. They weren't, and so he was a warlord. You know, like he was a warlord outside of the Lands Between, before Marika took him as her consort. Just like Tanith was a dancer from another land.
Yep.
Before
but it goes to
Rykard.
show though that you don't need to be from the Lands Between to actually affect the Lands Between. You can still be in.
Oh no, yeah, that it's a place you come to or can come to.
Yep.
You know, from someplace else. But so what I'm curious about is that from someplace else. That's what fascinates me too, is that from someplace else, because they could have, you know, I guess it's a good thing too that they're only making the one DLC, because they could just milk the shit out of this franchise.
Yeah. But again,
you know,
I don't think Miyazaki has it. He kind of dislikes doing sequels.
Well, you know why? It's because he's got fucking integrity.
Yep.
He's got artistic integrity, so he doesn't want to do a bunch. He doesn't want to just milk an IP. He wants to make sure that IP is worth it by not denigrating it, by not turning it into fucking Fast and the Furious or fucking Transformers, where there's just so many of them, it's absolutely meaningless.
Yeah.
Right? And you know, speaking to the idea that the things that make things, or one of the things that make something quality is the scarcity, or the limited supply of it.
And I think Miyazaki just has that. He just has that in tune to his goddamn soul.
Yeah.
He makes new ideas. He makes new IPs. Of course, I would still love having Bloodborne on PC, dude. I want to have Bloodborne on Steam.
There's a lot of buzz about it.
Yeah, but it's because Sony doesn't have the singular rights to it anymore, and they're all being pissy and like, oh, me. Let's make another Horizon. Sucks. Let's go, Horizon. Woohoo!
Throw away some more money on garbage.
Yeah. We know how we all love Horizon with the ugliest female character since Abby.
Yeah, to that point. It's since been outdone.
It is. Ugh, I hate it.
So,
honestly, I hope Sony goes the way of Ubisoft. Either they get shafted so hard that they fall apart, or they get hit so hard that they decide to, you know what, we're just gonna give people what they want.
Well,
the worst mistake of Sony was becoming an American company.
So, executives can only make shitty decisions for so long before they get replaced by someone who won't.
Yeah, and we're still
ostensibly, right? It's either the company either has to replace the dead weight executives that are making bad decisions and ruining the gaming experience for all their players, or they die. They go out of business.
Yeah.
Because right now, Sony is just hemorrhaging money like none other. Like a $400 million loss. Like you thought it was 200. We thought it was 100 million. They said it was 200 million. It was actually a $400 million loss that they took on Concord, which
makes it funnier when Helldivers, after turning around, has started making a lot more money again. Because
they turned around.
They were like, okay, guys, we're gonna do what the fans want. Immediately, everyone is like, finally coming back to play.
And didn't they get a new studio head? I think that was part of it. They got a new studio head that was like...
No, that was actually one of the issues, is that the one that Pillistad used to replace himself wasn't really he really couldn't phrase himself well. But
and the problem, Sony's problem is the standard one, is that they keep letting fucking community managers and community standards bullshit, and that nannying HR state bullshit.
That is just
if they just got rid of that, people wouldn't care.
Yeah. The worst issue with Sony is that they have Americanized themselves. Because their headquarters is now in California or somewhere, I think.
Oh yeah, well it's Sony games.
Yep.
You know, there's still a huge bunch of Sony in Japan, but it's funny to say that's not Sony Electronics. Like Sony Electronics are good. They've not had the same. Could you imagine if Sony Electronics had the same kind of reputation as their shitty ass games do?
Again,
like nobody would bother buying a fucking PlayStation. Which a lot of people are not. Like Concord, that's hilarious too. Concord was supposed to be like a flagship for the new PlayStation.
I know,
and nobody's gonna buy that shit now. Oh,
it's so
I know.
beautiful.
It is. It's fantastic. I love seeing these guys lose money like that. I want them to keep doing it.
Yeah.
You know?
I wish for this downfall to continue, and I wanted to crush them.
Yep.
Or as
keep
Grievous
sinking
said
money into it.
Yeah, as the best Star Wars cyborg says it, crush them, make them suffer, with a very dry Russian accent.
Yes. I agree wholeheartedly with the general on that one.
Oh yeah.
So, because they can only do that for so long, right? As a company, you can only lose money. But here's another. Okay, so here's something different, a different aspect to that. To Sony losing shit tons of money and canceling projects left and right for the tax write-off.
Yep.
So recently, there was a tax. So they implemented during COVID a tax cut which allowed developers to write off 100% of their R&D costs.
What is R&D?
So they research and development.
Oh, there you go.
And so all of these gaming studios were hiring a shit ton of devs and pumping out these games. Now they weren't paying any like extra tax on those people for having those people employed. They were paying the extra social security tax, whatever. They got a huge tax break or the extra income tax. So they got a huge tax break for these developers. So it was easy for them to hire shit tons of developers and try to pump out projects to make money. Mm-hmm. But those tax cuts expired last year or earlier this year. And so now all of these studios have these huge tax bills that they didn't have before. Right? So, you know, and the easiest way to get rid of a huge tax bill is to lose a shit ton of money. So I think some of this is actually by design. I think some of this mismanagement is the managed decline is actually on purpose because they need to do something about this giant onerous tax bill that they have from the United States government for developing their stuff. So I don't know if that's if that's true, if that's really what it is. That's my theory. And I know they all have huge tax bills as a result of this stuff.
It seems reasonable. I'm not going to go against that. It's something. It is definitely something likely.
Yep. And so these kind of American-based companies that have these huge tax bills, the easiest way to do that is to say, oh, okay, well, we developed this. Oh, no, we spent... I mean, a $400 million loss is an incredible tax write-off for a multi-billion-dollar company. Yep. Because in the end, and actually they're more like $100 billion company, a $400 million loss is in the grand scheme of things, not that much. Right, they'll make that up in a year easily, right? And if they don't have to pay the taxes on it, they've automatically made it up. So a $400 million loss. A lot of those companies don't pay $400 million in taxes, you know, like at the end of the day. They're not going to be that many that have that big of a tax. And so that's such a huge write-off for a company like that.
You see what I'm doing, right?
Oh, that looks dope. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I was just thinking that looks a little bright, but putting that layer down made it look a lot better. It gave it that more charred feeling to it.
Yeah, the gems look better when you put them down like there, but I kind of want to do at least the fire, the gems. That's pretty much going to be its own thing, but
yeah, covering that, putting the char on top of it makes it look dope.
Oh, Again, this is all more experimentation and learning, so pretty happy with how it is turning out. There you go. You doing all right?
I need to finish working on my 3D printer. I'm just thinking of all the shit I gotta do this weekend. Like, it's all day, every day again, for both days, the Saturday and Sunday. Like today, I've got a bunch of shit I got to take care of today too. So, no rest for the wicked.
Play Don't Go on Trees.
Yeah,
that's a good song.
I'd kind of just like to go back to bed for a while.
Right. Tell me about
so, it. Yeah.
See, I'm just gonna do something here.
This is looking really good, dude.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah. And it's funny because it's kind of like, because they have weird proportioned arms and legs, like the things do. They just have weird proportioned arms and legs. That this looks even better.
Yeah. If I do like this,
some light
color in black and white.
Here
you go.
Yeah. Hell yeah, man. As I
develop, hopefully I'll be able to make this more fitting and be able to just do colors better and more often. But right now I'm kind of just sticking with this.
Yeah, no, it looks good, dude.
How does it look if I put the gems under here? Actually, it doesn't look too shabby. Fuck it, they're staying.
No, it's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah, they're staying.
Well, you kept them pretty clear before you did it anyway, so like you drew them pretty clear.
Thank you.
So it looks good.
See me, amigo. Let's see.
Yeah, man.
Let's see. I'm starting to just. I think I need to make it a little bit darker. I've been getting some comments from some of my more artistically inclined friends that I do make the background a bit too light. I should have a more shadow. So one idea is I'm gonna try this.
Take the layer and make it a little darker.
Yeah, and then brighten it up a bit, maybe. Nice.
Yeah, that looks dope.
Oh yeah. Now, if I can then do this and just erase a little here and there to just make them stand out a bit more, that can work out, I think.
It's just fascinating to watch this process, dude.
Yeah, thank you. It's fascinating.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna say like, I'm not even gonna say like, as an artist, it's so cool to watch you do this. No, it's just as a regular person, it's cool to just watch stuff come together.
I appreciate
it. And again, the fact that we've done this in like an hour.
Yeah,
I say we. The fact that you've done this in an hour while I've blabbed with like a retard.
Dude, don't say myself short. It is your direction has been helping this, and you keep my brain on the subject, helping it. Yeah. I like it. This is, again, I love doing this. This is honestly one of my favorite kind of content to make. And hopefully Bessic doesn't have too much pain doing the edits here with all the swearing and gamer words and incantations from the depths of hell.
Yeah.
I swear, I'm not trying to summon Rykard, I'm just trying to summon Rykard. What? Like,
I don't know. When I'm looking at politics now, world-devouring Serpent doesn't seem like such a bad deal. I'm honest.
I'm not gonna say I would vote for Rykard, but I would definitely vote for Rykard.
I'm not gonna vote for Rykard, but I might vote for his party.
Together.
Nah.
Oh, dude. If Rykard steps up and like, if you vote me in, I promise to eat all politicians. And I'm like, yes,
I'm going to eat Congress. Yes. Together.
I will make the greatest stew ever.
And that Rykard's voice actor is so good.
I know that. The voice actor just went full on cheese in the best way.
They crushed it with the voice acting in that game, dude. Oh. And I haven't got to Bale yet, and that guy, but I've heard him, and he's yelling, And then he's yelling like he sounds like goddamn Captain Ahab. It's freaking hilarious.
It really was inspired by him in a way.
Yeah. Oh, I know it was.
Oh man, like he kind of makes me want to try to go for a fucking Dragon Warrior run.
Ah.
I don't know. One thing I really love about, of course, when we get to Bale, we'll get to that one. But you know, Plastigisax's wounds.
Yeah.
That's Bale.
Yeah, they were caused by Bale. Yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Well, that's why Bale lost his wings and everything in that fight.
They both went toe to toe and started fucking each other up.
Right.
Like, holy crap! So this is what a fight between titans look like.
Right. So that's what a dragon fight should look like.
Oh yeah. Or rather, dragons and drakes. It's kind of Plastigisax's spite move is to have dragon communion be fueled by drake hearts.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, what Bale did, he threw in he had a rebellion. I think that Bale's action is what caused the age of the dragons to end. If I'm gonna do a little bit of a crackpot theory, of course, before. We really should save this for Bale's episode, shouldn't we? Or Plastigisax's theory. Fuck.
Yeah. Farrah Missoula. Save it for Farrah Missoula.
Yeah. It's so, again, I just love Elden Ring because of all the lore, all the things that here.
Oh yeah, no, the story is fascinating.
It is.
The motif is fantastic. Like the visuals are interesting.
It has some balancing issues, but I'm able to look away from that because I can find the cheese to save me from whatever situation I can be stuck in. So,
well, I mean, there's any game can be broken.
Yeah.
If you're not if you want.
Let's see. There you go. Yeah, there's a few things that should have been done better, but then again, it's just Miyazaki doing Miyazaki things. And let's be fair, I really hope that they make a co-op game, like a game where players can just play together without the whole invasion thing going, because a few people I know, they get a bit turned off by the invasions.
Yeah. Like, I understand why they're there. It makes sense, right? You don't want the game to be too easy.
Yep.
Because you just go through a co-op. But, yeah, I remember the first time I played co-op with some friends. We were super low level. I was just in Raya Lucaria. And some guy invaded us, and he had Moog's spear.
Oh, God, no.
I didn't even know what that was at that point. And so we heard, oh, you've been invaded. And so we ran up the stairs, and he was standing on the stairs above us and hit Moog's spear and killed us. We didn't even know what the hell happened. We were just like, oh, my shit. It just nuked us. We didn't... And so, yeah, I understand why there's invasions, and I understand why people invade too. Because once you're so good at the game, like, you can beat every boss, what do you do after that? Well, you go fight people, which is really one of the brilliant things they've added to it, the ability to fight people. Well, I say, but that's been an ongoing thing in FromSoft games, anyways. So
yeah, I think I'm gonna call it here. I kind of like it when the throne is actually a bit darker than originally intended. So yeah.
No, I think it looks good, dude.
Thank you.
We've been at it for an hour 20.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you for joining me on this, dude. It's been good fun.
Oh man, it's my pleasure as always.
Looking forward to next time. That will most likely be around...
That'll be a few weeks away.
Late October, early November sometime.
Yeah. Right on. No, that looks dope, dude.
Thank you. I had a good time doing this one, and again, always fun talking about Elden Ring. We kind of skirt around the subject matter, then we go back to it, then we skirt around it, then we go back to it, and then we go completely somewhere else.
Yeah. It's got to expand the conversation, that's all.
That's a professional way of saying it. Let's go with that. But yeah, this is also this time I did a little bit of a different shading. As you see, everything here is on the same layer. The background and foreground are both the same layer.
Oh yeah, you don't usually do that.
Nope. This time I did. Let's
Nice.
see. I think if I add... What do you think? 75 or 69? 69
Dude, show the...
or 80?
Go back to 69 again.
Nice. Let's... Oh, that's the wrong one. There you go. Oh.
Yeah. No, I think that's good there, dude.
Yeah. All right, we're sticking with this one. So, with that, I am wrapping up this episode of Simply Sketchy to a close. I would once again like to thank you, Dave, for joining me here. So, please, this is your chance. Shill yourself.
My channel, Total Blackout Painting, I said currently on hiatus from because I don't have a place to paint, but trying to still always in the process of reworking that. And then of course, you know, Sultans in the Morning.
Yep.
You can follow me on Twitter. I'm just some jerk at Reverend Dave. Reverend with an A, REVERAND. Which is a throwback. But yeah, that's me.
A good base guy with a lot of good memes. And also, what, now this Saturday, tomorrow, or it's tomorrow for us, but
Yeah.
I think the next Sultans, you're gonna show up with your newest avatar, right?
Oh yeah, that's right, I am. I've already got it loaded up, ready to go.
Cool.
I've got it in the reactive, so yeah.
Well,
that's gonna be dope.
Oh yeah, and also I heard you're going to try to at least do like minis or some other kind of stuff with your son, is right?
Yeah. No. So my boys want to do gameplay for League of Legends and record us just being assholes to each other because that's what we do. And
works.
That's going to be on my little boy's channel, which is called Goobin Time. Because he used to be that's what his name is in League. Because he likes going, he used to, I don't know why he says that, it's just Goobin Time, which is hilarious to me. But yeah, so they want to do that, and then yeah, I'm trying to set up to paint minis, but I've got a lot of crap I got to take care of. So the longer you look at it, the more you get details you're going to want to add to it.
Which is probably for the best that we cut it here. So, and
now it's done.
Yeah, now it's done. I'm keeping my hands away from the pen right now, so I'm just gonna do my little shill, which is, if you like this drawing and you would like to hire me or commission me for something of your own, I can do both black and white with color. I can do it sketching, line art, essentially almost any kind of thing you want, and mostly anything you want, though furry shit will cost extra, just mentioning that already. Just saying.
He'll draw wieners.
Yes, but it will cost extra, so you might be better off hiring one of the Rule 34 artists in the darker corners of the internet. Just saying. You can find me either on Twitter at the same Trims Art Check. You can find my Ko-Fi down the link down below. You can also just most likely find me on Discord and just contact me and we'll just work out the details from there. Or if you want to buy merch with my acid-like drawings on it, then feel free to just go down the link down below and buy some whatever shiny shirts or cups if you feel like it. So with that, I would very much again like to thank you, Dave, for tagging along, and of course the viewers, every single one of you, for sticking out to the end of the video if you managed to get this far. Thank you all very much for watching, and again, thank you, Dave. Thank you, Besic, for doing the editing, and Robert Renato for letting me use your music for my videos. Really appreciate it. And have a wonderful day, everyone. Goodbye.
Aloha.